Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This week on the show, get set for some early spring fishing on one of Delmarva's most versatile rivers, the Pocomoke. From local anglers taking their chances at passing shad under the bridge to a multi-species catch on just one type of bait, we're sure to have fun. Then, we've never found a wild game dinner we didn't like, but this time there's a twist. See if these diners can tell what's on the menu with our blind taste test. Plus, a more than 30-year-old fishing record falls in the state of Delaware. We're catching up with a lucky angler, and we'll hear his message of conservation.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
Nice fish! I got him.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. And now, here are Mike Parker and Captain Willie Dykes.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes.
And I'm Mike Parker, and Willie, couldn't have a more beautiful spring day here to start off the show this week. Well, we've got kind of a two-tiered fishing adventure, you might say, both of which will keep us right here on the Pocomoke River.
Mike, there are three sure signs of spring here. The prothonotary warbler shows up, right. The dogwood blooms, and the shad are running at Porter's Crossing.
One of the best parts about meeting up with friends at the Porter's Crossing Bridge in Worcester County is, well, a little desire is all you need. One of just a handful of totally free, meaning no license required, locations sprinkled across Maryland's eastern shore.
Good morning.
The bridge is convenient access to the Pocomoke River, and this time of year, folks tend to take advantage of it.
Yeah. What's Willie doing over there? I see Willie's fishing for free this morning.
When shad and herring trek through here as they spawn.
I was coming in here this morning, I was thinking it's been just a little over 50 years since I first fished down here at Porter's Crossing. And when it comes right down to it, the only thing that's changed is me.
Now, Willie's been fishing this spot for decades, we'll say, so the bridge is tried and true.
You should have been here earlier. Just on the other side of the bridge there, I was jigging a little bit right over the edge and caught two at the same time.
Did you really?
Two shad, yeah, they were on, but I had that really old 6-pound line on and they broke it and took off.
For me, I haven't gotten as many seasons under my belt here, but I have had some luck in the past, and as long as you've got your Maryland Bay and Coastal Sport license, you can venture down to the muddy banks of this tidal river, which I prefer.
Well, this is just a rooster tail, very popular, multi-species lure. I mean, you can catch anything from bass to crappie to trout. And as I found out last year, when my niece Maya was fishing with me in this very spot, the shad also seemed to like him pretty good. She hooked up a pretty nice one right here on the bank. So I guess you'd call this a tribute to her for trying it again.
But at least on this morning, my method wasn't exactly hooking them up. And despite having some fun and a few quick hookups, even Willie and the guys on the bridge weren't exactly slaying.
Crappy little buggers. Long line release. It didn't get my fingers dirty, Captain.
Yeah. This old rotten line has cost me 3 fish already this morning.
Well, Willie's up on the bridge. I'm down here along the banks in the woods, and success has been kind of mild here this morning, but this isn't the first time that me and Willie have been out in the Pocomoke River recently. In fact, we were out on a boat just a couple of weeks ago, just down by Snow Hill, and we want to talk about catching multiple species. We certainly accomplished that.
Try to feed them a worm and see if they like it.
For those of you who watch the show on a regular basis, you know we've featured some pretty good anglers. But every once in a while, Willie and I like to cast a few lines too. And while our goal on this particular spring morning wasn't to break any records, we did try something new. Fishing only with night crawlers, we would hook up a number of different species along the Pocomoke and the Nassawango Creek.
Okay, so now we don't have to eat those Vienna sausages tonight. We do have a fish, although it's just barely a fish, little tiny yellow perch. Yeah, he is. He's a pretty little fish.
From crappie and bluegill to largemouth bass, we had a pretty diverse catch, with the biggest fish of the day being this chain pickerel, which I treated with care, and after a quick photo op, quickly released back into the water. Well, if we were turning back the clock to take you on our quick boat trip, then we'll fast forward back to Porter's Crossing, this time in the afternoon, where anglers like Frank Nelson were jigging away and cranking in the shad.
Get him, Frank.
You think, huh?
Yeah, see the big belly on it? Yep.
Well, you can't keep him.
No, they gotta go back. I hope he has 5,000 babies.
It must be the hat.
Yeah, remember the hat attracts. Remember the hat attracts.
For the next hour or so, Frank and the gang on the bridge were putting on a display that's typical this time of the season, with many saying the best fishing is yet to arrive.
See, these are shad darts, and the green is on the top because that's what they bite. Then you have your white on the bottom. They usually bite that, but it's just the bottom. My grandfather makes these himself with his own little lead machine.
Probably a male.
And doing our best to capture it all on camera. A moment that's been repeated time and time again, just above the trusses of this sturdy bridge, thanks to a natural phenomenon happening just beneath the water's surface.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Well, Willie, just like any other fishing adventure goes, you know, it's always up to the fish, not us. We're kind of on their schedule as to when they want to bite.
That's right, Mike. It can be feast or famine.
Yeah, try a couple of different types of lures, different types of bait, and there's always a few different spots up and down the creek. The bridge here at Porter's Crossing, though, is a good start. So get out here while you can, enjoy this beautiful window of opportunity, and try to hook up some shad on the Pocomoke River.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, it's a taste test with a twist. Will these blindfolded diners know what type of wild game is on their plates? But first, did you know? In an attempt to preserve the species, shad fishing is strictly catch and release in Maryland. In what year did DNR impose a moratorium on the harvesting of shad? Was it 1980, 1983, or 1985? The answer when we come back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, Shooter's Choice, and Goody's Marine. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Did you know? In an attempt to preserve the species, shad fishing has been strictly catch and release in Maryland since 1980.
Get him, Frank.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Yeah, see the big belly on it?
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker.
And I'm Captain Willie Dykes. You know, we get a lot of invitations to wild game dinners every year. And though we appreciate the invitations, unfortunately, we can't make every one of them.
Now, luckily for me and you, Willie, we know a guy. And recently, our producer, Chopper Chuck Regner, headed up to a wild game feast up in Talbot County and decided to film it with a bit of a twist.
That's right, it sure turned out to be a lot of fun. And as we found out, you'd be surprised at how visual an experience a feast can be.
Willie?
The Gateway Subaru Outback recently made its way up to Talbot County to a farm just outside of Trapp, Maryland. The destination, a wild game dinner hosted by Talbot County resident Curtis Satcher,
We used to do crab feast, but everybody, crabs are, anybody can eat crabs.
All sorts of Delmarva delicacies were being cooked up, from traditional fare such as goose and soft crabs to more exotic fare from lands afar like alligator and even kangaroo.
So Chuck decided it might be fun to see how well these different dishes could be identified if the subject were blindfolded.
Oh my God.
So 3 lucky volunteers got to sample bison, goose, squirrel, muskrat, and kangaroo to put their taste buds to the test in what might be called the ultimate wild game taste testing challenge.
These are pretty high tech, wouldn't you say? Very high tech. You know, you've heard of MIT, is that right? Well, these are from NET, which is Meat Eating Technology. Okay, are you ready? Yeah. All right, let's give it a shot.
Bison. Goose. I'll say kangaroo.
Here's number 4.
Muskrat.
And again, the choices are bison, goose, squirrel, muskrat, and kangaroo.
I'll say squirrel because that's the only one I haven't picked yet.
First of all, you aced the bison. Okay. That was number 1. You got bison right on. Okay. Number 2, being an Eastern shoreman, you couldn't miss that one. We had some goose, so you got that one. You nailed the goose. Number 3, a little trickier. You said kangaroo.
Right.
It was squirrel.
Okay.
They both jump around, so it's kind of close. Number 5, of course, a little bit exotic. Unless you go to Australia all the time, you're going to kind of miss that one. It was kangaroo.
So I got the squirrel and the kangaroo mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not bad, though. Pretty good. All right, absolutely. And again, the choices are muskrat, bison, squirrel, kangaroo, or goose.
Tastes like chicken. I'll say muskrat. I'd say goose. Tastes like the last one. I'll say squirrel.
That's a nice piece, not too bad.
Kangaroo.
All right, you like hunting geese, is that right?
Yeah.
You got that one right.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's all you got right.
That's what I figured. I think that's squirrel. Excuse me, that's goose.
And again, it's bison, goose, squirrel, muskrat, and kangaroo.
Dang. I'll say it's bison. That's rat. Oh, that's the roux.
What'd you say?
Don't you tell me I mixed them up.
Russ, you nailed all 5. You got them. There you go. Even got the kangaroo. Well, we've had a great time here. Friend Russell the Shield invited me up to Curtis Satchel's place. We had a great wild game dinner here with some great people. And also did a little bit of blind taste testing with the help of our special glasses. So, Russ, take us out.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we'll meet Delaware's new largemouth bass record holder and hear his message of conservation.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. Well, as sportsmen, we keep records as a way of judging our own performance against that of others and, of course, against history. And here in the state of Delaware, the record for the biggest largemouth bass stood for more than 30 years until it was crushed recently here on the waters at Wagamon's Pond in Milton. But what we like about this story the most is that the lucky angler who caught this now record bass wasn't so much worried about himself as he was about keeping this fish alive.
Jimmy, for the short term, we're going to hang this picture in the shop of your fish. We're currently having 2 replicas made, one for you and one for the shop that will hang here forever.
Thank you, dear.
You are certainly welcome.
If you want it, there is plenty of fanfare to go along with catching a new state record fish. But if you're Jim Hitchens of Georgetown, it's all a little much.
Right, well, they asked me what I would like to do with it, and I'm pretty sure the first thing I said was I'd like to put her back, and asked them if that was possible to, to still maintain the record and to put her back. And they said, yeah.
Described by friends as just a regular guy, but yes, one heck of a fisherman. He's also very humble, and completely humbled, in fact, by the attention he's getting over his 10-pound, 10-ounce largemouth bass caught using live bait at Wagaman's Pond back on March 22nd.
When I threw the bait in, it wasn't long, maybe 2 minutes, when I detected a strike. I felt like the heaviest thing I've ever had a hold of in fresh water. And it turned out it was.
When Jim got it, he caught it. The fish come right straight to the boat and went under the boat. And I said, man, don't let him break your line.
When I met Jim, in the first 2 minutes, I knew this was an outstanding individual, very conservation-minded.
Verified by Denrec officials who weighed the bass at Tailored Tackle Shop in Seaford, Jim claims the success story here isn't about breaking the record, but that through it all, this beauty of a bass was kept alive. And as this picture shows, even returned safely to the pond.
With everything going on, he was a little frazzled, justifiably so, but his #1 priority was getting that fish back where it came from, alive and in good condition.
In episodes past, we've taken you to some big-time sport fishing events where conservation is becoming more important, and use of life-preserving circle hooks for species like shark and marlin are becoming mandatory. It's also happening in bass fishing circles, and along with his battery-operated aerated cooler, Jim says circle hooks are saving the big fish he and others are using while live lining with live bait.
Even if it does go down in the stomach, this end here is rounded, so it comes back out and hooks into the corner of the fish's mouth.
So for whether the new state record will last another 30 years, well, nobody seems to want to make that call. But we, on the other hand, have no problem saying that if you want to see a picture of this record fish, go to Tailored Tackle. If you want a chance to catch the fish, you know where he lives.
My name's Jim Hitchens. I'm from Georgetown, Delaware, and I just landed the new Delaware state record largemouth. Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, personal protection and peace of mind, we'll check out some of the latest gear designed to keep you safe.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Dave, I see you've got a line of products here that can keep them safe and secure.
Yeah, Mike, we carry the full line of Champion safes.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. Back here with our friends again at Shooter's Choice, located on Route 13 in Dover, Delaware. As we've shown you in the past, it's the place to come for all of your hunting and outdoor shooting sports needs, but they've also got you hooked up when it comes to personal protection. Joining us right now, Dave Lawson with Shooter's Choice. Hey,
Mike,
Dave.
thanks for coming back.
Great to see you. We always love stopping in, seeing what you're up to. Now, let me ask you this. Someone comes into the shop and they ask you about personal protection. What do you tell them?
Well, first we want to find out what their skill level is, whether they've never handled a firearm or whether they're an accomplished gun handler. And then we'll take it from there. We'll take them through if they're basic. We'll take them and recommend some training to them.
All right.
And we can take them from start to finish. Look at the bead, way down in there.
All right, so we've gone through some training. You decided to purchase a firearm. Dave, how can you help me?
Well, there's such a variety of guns out there, makes, models, designs, calibers. What we will do is see what fits you best, what grip works for you, what caliber works best for you, and what your need is.
And when it comes to making that selection, they've got all the brand names you recognize: Springfield, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Sig, Walther.
We've got every make, model, and caliber you can imagine. We can fit you with a firearm.
Firearms are an investment, so when you've got them in your home, you've got to protect them. And Dave, I see you've got a line of products here that can keep them safe and secure.
Yeah, Mike, we carry the full line of Champion safes. They're all fire rated. They handle the long guns, they have shelving for documents, they have the handguns on the door, and they're also wired for lighting and moisture control.
Rock solid.
Firearms aren't your only protection. We carry a complete line of the pepper spray as well. provides protection without the use of a firearm.
Well said. All right, Dave Lawson with Shooter's Choice. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you being here.
You got it. From answering all of your questions about personal protection to helping you select a firearm that's right for you, to protecting that investment and exploring other options too. Shooter's Choice has you covered right here on Route 13 in Dover, Delaware. Always on target. And we'll be right back.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we've got some viewer venture cam video from some Pocomoke County anglers on a southern offshore adventure. Plus, your viewer pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by Shorts Marine. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, Shooter's Choice, and Goody's Marine.
It's time now to take a look at some of the videos and pictures sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers.
And we begin with some viewer venture cam video courtesy of some friends from Pocomoke County. Now, Pat Tobat, Brian Catlin, and Tom King are all good fishermen, but this year they wanted to get an early start to their offshore adventure, so headed down to the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Looking good, Pam.
Along for the ride, the ladies, Kelly and Darby Catlin, along with Pam King. And what you're looking at is video taken aboard the Albatross 2. The day's catch included 4 wahoo, a handful of yellowfin tuna, and a few blackfin tuna or false albacore.
Get outdoors, Delmarva!
On to the pictures now. Garrett Smith from Ellendale was successful during Delaware's youth turkey hunt last weekend. This nearly 21.5-pound gobbler came in when Garrett's Uncle Wayne, on the right, helped call it in. Also pictured is Dad Tony Smith on the left. Well, next, remember all those rainbow trout we showed being stocked into the Beaver Dam branch in Salisbury a few weeks back? Well, viewer Keith White and son Jonathan from Delmar, Delaware have been busy catching them. Keith says they tuned into the show, headed to Salisbury, and limited out a couple days in a row.
Well, I'm afraid it's a little late for this morning, Mike, but I found us a 4-leaf clover. Maybe that'll work tomorrow.
All right. Well, we'll take our 4-leaf clover. Maybe we'll cast a few more lines in here while the shad are still around, and hope you can do the same. Until next time, for my partner, Captain Willie Dykes, I'm Mike Parker, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.